Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently in Fafnir, continuing our main quest, and we just helped figure out Y'shtola how to open the Void Gate in the bounty, but for that she needs some stuff. And one of those things she needs, astrally charged water, we are currently getting. Also, she roped Nidana into helping us. Astrally dense pocket. Good. Sharlayan as well, and Destinian too. Oh, I forgot to mention, the font of Maya attracts aggressive wildlife, and you should watch out for them when you go there next time. Apologies. Akon Y'shtola requested that I join you, but of her plans she offered scant detail. The boy Marat was glad to hear the news of the Foundation. It means a new life for him and his sister. Good to hear. Do we have that flask for me? Yes, that should suffice. Thank you, Desiree. Okay, Y'shtola, what do we do now? Void Fury. Look who I came across. Astinian seemed in need of diversion, and we in turn have a need of his lands. Right then, now that we have our little party assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Matzia's boat again? Not this time. Once Y'shtola informed me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Akyali. Your Excellency is ever a gracious host, shall we? But when I assume it's probably not a separate boat, we are taking Matzia's boat after all. We just don't need to ask him. Because Varshan already did. It is likely not needed with Vitra along, but I head onto the map against the chance we might return to the ruins. Onto the boat, if you please. We can chat on the way there. And over time I thought the tales of Azuda's hoard were no more than drunken sailors' fancies. You need not keep your weapon close at hand. The Guardians will not attack if I am present, so I pray you leave them be. The ship is yours to command. Oh thanks, we set sail at once. Oh, this is so exciting! Azuda's legacy! To see the truth of a legend with my own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault. He laid wisdom ere I could utter a single word. I thought we had cleared this place of constructs the last time we came through. It would seem a few stragglers remained. Yeah, Astinian killed them all, or destroyed them. All the constructs Varshan had built anew. Or had the alchemists built for him. Poor Vitra. We really should have spoken with Vestinian before we left. I shudder to think what we've cost her in terms of construction materials.
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the Bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it you're doing now?
There's something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Gra has theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
So, this is an experiment of sorts?
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Sound familiar?
Very good. I see you've been paying attention. As Vritra sent his simulacrum, so too shall we rely on a familiar to bear the brunt of any unpleasant consequences. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, water, froth and foam!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
That was strange for Ishtola, yes?
Oh, come now, that was adorable. Water, water, froth and foam! Time to play!
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve as well. This one will bear a warding scale.
Bloop.
And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
He is still a bit baffled by Y'shtola's performance.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nidana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
Yeah.
Please just do me a favor and forget you ever saw that. Let us begin, shall we? Nixies, into the void.
Water, water, fragment fell! Into shadow realms we will!
I struggle to picture Y'shtola as a little girl. Easier to believe she sprang fully formed from one of Masama Toya's cauldrons. Sister said me I will never see Y'shtola in the same way again. Rough and from indeed. Every time I come here, it reminds me of a dark portal above a crystal tower. The final lash of Australia's tail as she plunged into the void.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side. Thank you, little one. You did well.
Oh, the poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
We're out of time! I must reseal the Void Gate.
They're coming through!
In the name of Alzadal III, I bar this door unto the Void!
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct, then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation. It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used a stone known as Aurosite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Aurosite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. It was Elidibus, as I recall, who rescued Unakalhai's spirit from his final battlefield. But I wonder if there were others whom the emissary saved from oblivion.
Artward's companion, the elven swordswoman.
Silver, the adventurer who traveled with the Warriors of Light. And you say she was another of Elidibus's pawns? I see. So Ciela, or rather Silver, was beguiled by the same dreams of heroism as Unakalhai. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition?
So, World of Darkness, great.
I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great Vritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way. But first, I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
Seeing the void's terrors firsthand was an experience, but I doubt fear of such creatures is the root of Vitra's hesitation. Yeah, he is caught between hope and fear for his sister, who went there, among all these creatures. A satrap's duty. Once Diana succeeds in replicating the mock Atomos, the door into the 13th will be ours to open. Will you be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realize this is more my endeavor than yours. To be honest, I have no interest in visiting the void myself. Might we discuss this later? There's something I must do first. Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least have a good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. We shall proceed with our other preparations then. As we saw, the warding scale can be effective at protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved if it is to withstand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. And I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemists who created it. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation? The Allergans. We can hardly ask them. Scarlet Ironworks. An excellent suggestion. As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the void and its volatile energies. With this experience in hand at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding scale. Come, let us visit their operation in Valga's Reach and commission their best and brightest. And you got a free warp here. Perhaps if this young man can locate Sid for us. Desiree, what brings us to the Ironworks? We have a commission for you and your president, actually, assuming he's available. Master Sid, certainly, I'll see if he has a moment free. A pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. Heading into the void to find a lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to our last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after meeting you in that bloody mess. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation. It seems some manner of corrosion has set in around the scratch on its surface. Much as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds. In which case our best bet may be to simply prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. And how might we achieve that? We have a coating agent for strengthening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. Armor? We'll construct a protective casing, one utilizing metal alloy with high ethereal conductivity, so as not to impede the talisman's primary function. A suit of armor, as you said. Nero has compiled data on the 13th, so I'll have him pitch in with a design, just to be sure. If only it ran such an ordeal to convince him to follow our safety protocols. I swear, I've never had such a reckless employee. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. Ha! The hard part will be ducking Jesse in the constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. I think we can leave the rest in Sid's capable hands. Let's return to the great work and see how Nidana's getting on with the mock Atomos. We've been here for not even 10 minutes, you Stoller. How far can she have come? The insatiable curiosity of our alchemists has ever amazed me. Why have largely left them to their own devices since we opened the gate together?
Ah, hey, Stola. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
'Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Al-Zadal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components, and I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial Atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Celestinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet...
Now you listen to me, Varshan. You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again, too.
Estinian being sly. Bring all the people together for this? To protect them well, you must take heart.
Take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you, and here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Radzatan. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavnair for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
We'll have it Atomos built before you know it. When a project like this comes along, we give it our full and undivided attention. Sleep? Pah! Who needs it? Oh, that reminds me, I really should finish that other project I've been working on for His Excellency. What? Someone needed to give that boy a good talking to? You don't suppose I'll be reprimanded, do you? I did just yell at the satrap. I will not squander the chance you have given me. I will find the Steyr. Convincing others to follow their heart is not my forte. I would have gladly let our more philosophical comrades take the lead, had they been here. You did excellent, Astinian. You surprised me, Astinian. For a lone wolf, you've shown an unusual degree of, shall we say, involvement in helping Vitra reach his conclusion. It was for the greater good. The worm's thundering sighs were keeping his citizens awake at night, and the travelers believing the palace wrecked by some unnatural storm. What of your own answer, then? You seem disinclined to venture into the void. Then I was one with Nidok. His vengeful thoughts were my thoughts. His endless rage, my rage. And the soul-chilling grief he nursed for Atatoska's death. I would not wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. If there's a chance you can spare Vitra that pain, then I will follow you. Just the four of us? With things as they are, I'd rather not bother our comrades for less than a dire threat to a star. It will make for an interesting journey besides, traveling in a smaller party for a change. Crowds can be a bit draining, don't you think? Now, onto the specifics. Unlike the first, where the flood of light was halted before its devastation was complete, the 13th has been utterly subsumed by darkness. My plan is to explore the void in stages, withdrawing to safety after each brief foray. It would be more convenient had we some manner of base camp nearer to the gate itself. One of the palace chambers should serve. Come, let us reconvene outside Megaduta. Conducting our expedition out of the Rising Stones would raise as many questions recruiting too many science. At least here in Razatan we might be expected to appear road-weary for more local explorations. I was put up in a guest room in the palace while I waited my audience of Vitra. I expect to be giving the use of something similar. Please, may you aid the satrap in his endeavor, even as he aids you in yours. And so, we will require suitable accommodations. Might we make something available for our guests? Our chambers are presently hosting the great mounds of treasure we carried out of the vault. Once the Foundation's activities begin in earnest, however, we can distribute the trove, make a room or two ready for habitation. Good. Please inform me when you've completed the arrangements. As you heard, we will have you settled in Megaduta in due time. As ever, you are most gracious, Your Excellency. You risk yourself to aid me in my search for a Steyr. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only wish we knew more about our destination. The gods only know how long our explorations might possibly take, or what our chances of success might possibly be. Succeed or fail, I'm grateful for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I will return to the great work and lend what help I can to Nidana. If you have preparation to make and we venture into the 13th, now's the time. All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I train with a radiant host to pass the time before we depart. You know what this means to me, Desiree, but my purpose need not consume you as well. We are headed to another world. Find what joy you can in the experience, for you are a traveler, an adventurer at heart. This I know. Meanwhile, in the 13th.
And thus I am returned. To this world, bereft of saviors.
That looked a lot like Xenos' Reaper avatar. Alright, newfound adventure. Newfound adventurer. Okay, but I think we end the episode here and we continue another time. Until next time, then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.